Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain about some kernel module basics. There are two types of kernel modules are there. One is the in-source tree modules, another one is out-of-tree modules. In-source tree modules are the modules which are present inside Linux kernel source code. For example, if you download plain Linux kernel from kernel.org, the modules which are present inside Linux source code that is called in-source tree kernel modules. Out-of-tree modules are the modules which are not present inside Linux kernel source. Modules which are distributed separately by the vendor are out-of-tree modules. And also, if you are developing a new device driver, then you will start your development as out-of-tree modules. So once the code is bug-free and stable, then you will start submitting your patches. Kernel maintainers will review your code. Once the reviewing process has been completed, then your actual module will go into the kernel source code. That's where it will be a part of in-source tree modules. In build stage, actually, you can build your kernel modules in two ways. One is static kernel module, another one is a loadable kernel module. In case of static kernel modules, the modules are compiled directly into the kernel image. So actually, it goes into the VM Linux or BZ image of your kernel. So it's always loaded when the system boots. In case of static kernel modules, you cannot remove the modules without recompiling or rebooting the kernel. Static kernel modules are mainly will consider for essential drivers like serial drivers or some root file system support and all. We will compile it as a static kernel modules because for initial development or board bring up stage and all, you must need a serial driver for debugging. Without serial drivers, debugging is very difficult for board bring up stages and all. Most of the essential drivers, right? So we will compile it as a static kernel modules. Loadable kernel modules, we can compile it as a separate .ko file. It can be inserted or removed at the runtime using ins mode or rm mode commands. Mostly for initial development and debugging and all, we'll compile it as a loadable kernel module. We won't compile it as a static kernel module. Mostly loadable kernel modules are very flexible. You can easily compile and you can debug. You no need to compile the entire kernel or no need to reboot the entire system and all. So you can time based upon the need, you can directly using ins mode or rm mode commands, you can directly insert or remove your kernel so that it will be very useful for debugging purpose. And same thing I'm going to show you here in practical. So first we will see what is in-source module. So I have already downloaded Linux 6.15 kernel from linux.org. So if you see inside drivers folder, right, these are all in-source tree drivers. So this comes with the Linux source code. So it uses kbuild and kernel build system to generate ko modules, and also kernel makefile it uses to generate the ko modules. If you run make menu config is basically it used to configure your kernel. So here if you see star, then all these kernel modules are compiled as a static kernel modules. It directly goes into the kernel's BZ image or VM Linux image. In menu config, there is a one more option like star. There is a one more capital M option. If you select that M option, that kernel module will not go into the BZ image. It will be compiled as a loadable kernel modules, but the source code which is present over here or the in-source module. It's not out of tree modules. It doesn't comes from the vendor or you are developing your own driver and all, but it uses the kernel build system to build the KO modules and all. For example, if you see this device driver, there is a sound card support over here. can see here it is enabled as a module, so that means it compiled as a loadable kernel module. It won't goes into the kernel's bz image. It will be installed into the standard location is slash lib modules, then the kernel version. When you give make modules install command, it will be directly copy all the modules into the standard location. And also I wanted to show you one modules example. Here I have written one simple module. I have compiled using my own makefile and generated the hello.ko file. I just want to show you the modules information using modinfo. Modinfo command will show you the modules information. So if you want to know the LKM modules information and all, you can see uh, using modinfo. Module underscore hello.ko. See here, this is the first one is the file name where your kernel .ko has generated. Second one is a license. Just I have given my names here. Then dependence folder. Actually, if your driver has any dependency file, right, then it will show those dependency driver also. Then the name of your binary. At the end, you can see where magic. If you are compiling your module with one kernel, and if you are trying to load it in another kernel, right, then the loading will not be successful. So that time it will check the where magic string. So if it is not matched, then it won't load your kernel modules. This is just I wanted to show you the out of tree modules. Now for out of tree modules, you need your own makefile to compile your kernel. It won't use the kernel build system or kernel makefile to compile the kernel. In the next video, I'm planning to cover how to write a simple hello world .cover module. So please follow the video. Thank you for watching.